Hey, and welcome back to the HODL Review. This is Jeff. You are here with me exclusively on the chain. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Swift. What are they up to? Are they partnering with R3 or RippleNet? I don't know. It really seems interesting to see some of the progress that they're making right now in their space, moving outside of their traditional messaging platform. Let's check it out right now.
And now, the HODL Review with Jeff on the chain.
Bam! That's how we get back. So, man, it's kind of crazy. So we get into this article, and it always starts out with a series of articles for me, one after another. This one, just one specific article that really brought up a lot, because here we have Swift putting together an agenda or an initiative that actually is game changing for them, but is it really game changing for the marketplace, or are they just adding more legacy platform to their already antiquated legacy platform? So that's kind of the point of today's video. So let's go. I'm going to bring you over to this article. Let's see if we can do it right about. Oh, there we go. Okay. So as we get into this, and this was on FinExtra. I don't know. A lot of you guys might have seen it. Maybe some others have already covered it. But I find it really, really interesting. So now over the past couple years, we've heard a lot about this GPI solution from Swift. We've heard that they're moving, they're developing, they're changing, they want to modernize, they're trying to shed their 44 years, 46 years of being the primary dominant power in the space that all the banks work with in order to have a common language, a common messaging system to communicate payments. Now, for all these years, Swift, that's really all it's been, is just a messaging platform, not a settlement platform, not a money moving platform, but a common structure that the banks have all agreed on, so they have commonality in language no matter what country you're in, so that the messages can go across to facilitate the movement of money. But the settlement of that money still relies on other third parties, still relies on Nostro and Vostro accounts. And essentially what a Nostro account is, that's a bank's account that resides in another bank in another country with X amount of dollars in it sitting there dormant until the time that it's needed in order to get money from one party to the other. Now, Nostro, Vostro, Nostro would be our accounts, meaning the bank's account, and Vostro would be the bank that the account is in, refers to it as a Vostro account, meaning your account. So it's interesting to have these Nostro and Vostro accounts, and that's just a verb, the terminology behind it. But then you enter in with RippleNet, which we talk about a lot, others talk about a lot. What is the RippleNet game-changing solution, which moved beyond just messaging? It modernized what Swift did. You had RippleNet, Ripple, the organization, decided, hey, you know what? We don't like this 46 years of legacy platform. 36 years when they started, approximately, maybe a little less, but they wanted to make a change. Now, as they started making a change, obviously everybody's waking up to it. All these other companies, Swift is eyeing them, saying, hey, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? But Swift is very reluctant to make any kind of major improvements to their platform, because what's worked has worked, and they don't consider at this point, or over the years, Ripple was really any big threat. But now what we're seeing here, and this is where it becomes really, really interesting, from this perspective, because over a 2-year time frame, you have this, and so look at this right from the beginning of this article. Now, again, this was on FinExtra. Swift outlined strategy to expand beyond financial messaging. Here, operating over a 2-year time frame, the new strategy is aimed at enabling financial institutions to deliver instant and frictionless end-to-end transactions. Now, doesn't that all sound very, very familiar when it comes to what Ripple does with RippleNet? It enables these financial institutions and banks to deliver instant, frictionless means that, obviously it's seamless, a seamless process, end-to-end encrypted transactions. Here they don't have encrypted or a transparent, but that's what Ripple provides. But then they get deeper into it. So the SWIFT is a cooperative of banks that are bank-owned all over the world, is building a new digital platform that will use APIs and cloud technology to provide a set of common processing services that banks have historically invested in individually. So now you have the messaging platform identifying that there's all these other legacy solutions that are needed within a bank. And this is why the RippleNet solution was so unique, so different, and so applicable, is because Swift was only a messaging platform, whereas RippleNet was providing the entire end-to-end transaction. As they had mentioned here, they want to deliver an instant frictionless end-to-end well, that's what RippleNet was doing. Now Swift is saying, okay, they had their GPI, but the GPI didn't really catch on. Now, outside of what RippleNet is doing, we know we have R3, they have their Corda. They're kind of in the same money-moving business, allowing financial institutions and banks to seamlessly move money, move funds. And so here the question is, and initially I was thinking about this video, I said, oh, Swift is the RippleNet, Ripple XRP killer. That was going to be the title, but really it's all about Swift. Are they now working with R3 and Ripple through RippleNet and the XRP ledger? I don't know if they are or they aren't. However, when you start digging into the technology, they're taking a lot of those elements and building it into their solution. And whether or not they are or aren't, what it is extremely, extremely complementary of what RippleNet is doing and has done. So, the duplication or replication or copying of another is very complementary. So from Swift's perspective, to come up as a competitor, and we know that having competition in the space is healthy, because now Ripple looks at it and says, wow, Swift is really putting us on our toes now because they're making some advancements, they're making some changes. Now, any way you look at this, the end result is going to be positive. The question is Swift actually incorporating the technology through the XRPL? Are they using RippleNet? Are they using R3? I don't know. You got to keep digging in. So here it says, so they're building this API cloud technology to provide a set of common processing services that banks have historically invested on their own. Now, new and extensive data capabilities will enable the pre-validation of essential data. Now, new and extensive data capabilities. So now, they're taking it to another level. Fraud detection, data analytics, all part of what RippleNet can do. Transaction tracking, right? Transparency within the transaction, and exception case management. So it's interesting. They're seeing that. You need to have transaction tracking, you need transparency. Right now, if you do a bank wire, once I send the money, let's say I'm sending it to a party in England. My bank is Bank of America, their party is Bank of England, and I say, okay, I'm going to send you a bank wire. I send my bank wire through Bank of America. It transacts through the SWIFT protocol. Then the message gets over to Bank of England. You have the Nostro Vostro, you get this, and there's a settlement process. And that settlement process could take 3 days, it could take 5 days. If there's an error somewhere in the line, if they transpose something incorrectly, Bank of America is notorious for this. If they didn't send the bank wire, but they sent the ACH, or there was a confusion, all of a sudden the bank wire gets rejected, but nobody knows it gets rejected for 24 hours. And then after that, there's a time period where you have to get the money back, and it's a whole disaster. Now, there's zero transparency in that process. Once it says received sent, you're on your end, you say, hey, everything's great, it received sent, but in actuality, you don't know what's going on. Now here, what they're saying is transaction tracking, just like within the RippleNet software, transparency, right? So then it goes further. In payments, this equates to value-added services that banks can provide to both businesses and consumers. So that's interesting. In securities, financial institutions will benefit from improved reconciliation. So this is important too. You have some interesting features that are built in, inherent into RippleNet. Reporting and asset servicing processes, as well as end-to-end visibility of transactions to reduce settlement fails and fines. So that's, so here they finally bring up the settlement part because you're going to have end-to-end visibility, again, transparency. So this is really, it's interesting. So, and here it is, what's even crazier is this statement coming from the CEO. We are innovating the underlying infrastructure that financial institutions use to make transactions run even faster end to end, and at the same time further reducing costs for the community through industry shared services in the areas of cyber fraud and compliance. So KYC, AML, faster end to end. 4 seconds on RippleNet. Are they really innovating? Are they changing anything? Or are they incorporating somebody else's platform into their platform that they're innovating on top of, or they're building on top of? Here, we're creating a broad platform with faster technology and smarter and better services that the industry can trust as a foundation for innovation towards their end clients. I mean, it's interesting, right? But we know that RippleNet already did a lot of these things. So again, at the bottom line is, what are they building? Is it something that is truly drastically unique, or is it just something that is, a merger of technology that they're taking advantage of, that they're actually buying into? Are they really buying into the RippleNet solution? Are they incorporating? Are they using the XRPL? Are they using R3 Corda? Or are they just copying it and innovating and being very, very complementary to the solution to become a potential competitor in the space? Because as you see, if SWIFT drifts away, then all the banks, it gives the banking structure, it allows for the regulatory bodies to then look at it and say, okay, it's not just RippleNet that's moving in this direction, it's also SWIFT. So now that you have two in the space, now the regulatory bodies look at it and say, well, SWIFT's been around for 46 years. They're doing something that's very, very similar. Okay, now let's pass measures through. Let's do what needs to be done. But to me, I mean, it's very, very enlightening to see something like this. I'm sure there's going to be other videos out there that you'll watch, and they're going to read in between the fine lines and make 100% certain it's got to be using XRPL because there's no way they can innovate there on their own. From my perspective, it's a positive win-win no matter which direction it's going in, because like I said, if it's competitive and it's their own innovation and they're taking over some of the legacy software that these banks need, but they're incorporating it to one, it makes sense from a business perspective that they capture more market share. And the reason why they have to capture more market share is because they see the writing on the wall. They realize that the SWIFT messaging protocol is no longer something that's valid as you move forward, especially once you get blockchain, cryptocurrency, digital asset, and you get the regulatory clarity. It's a game on, because everything opens up from there. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, I should have said this in the beginning, thumbs up, leave some comments, hit that subscribe button, and check it out. Saturday morning, 8 a.m., we will be doing a live stream. We're going to cover global regulation on the digital asset space and cryptocurrency, blockchain, what have you. We're going to cover from the US to Europe to Russia to China. We're going to go down to, I mean, there's so much. It's amazing. We're going to cover the whole world. We're even going to look at the new sand dollar that is going to take place and become live in October down in the Bahamas. So hopefully we see you Saturday morning. If not, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday evening, we'll see you on the round table. Where's that outro? I'm out of here. I'll check you out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.